Hi, welcome to my video on factoring x squared plus bx plus c. Notice the a is 1, and this is part 2. The previous video we did part 1. Some tips to help factor this trinomial. If the signs are the same, you add up the factors. That is, if your binomial is a plus and a plus, then you add up. So if you have 1 and 4, then you add up to get 5x. So you have a sum. If the signs are different, like 1 and a -6, then you have to subtract the factors to get the -5x. Always start with a 1 product. So if your product at the end of your trinomial is 3x plus 2, you always start with a 1 times 2. Or if you have minus 6x minus, let's say, 16, then you go with a 1 times 16. And then you go with the other factors. To help find all possible factor pairs, check the factors of the smaller factors. Divide them into the product. In other words, if you have a, let's say 6x minus, give me a number that differs by 6, let's say 40, it's 4 and 10. So if you have the factors of 40, which is 1 times 10, that's the product. So if you have 40, then it's even, so you go 2 times 20. And now because you have 20, 20 has a 5. So 40 has a 5, so 40 divided by 5 gives you 8. And also 20 has a 4, so 4 is a factor of 40. So 40 divided by 4 is 10. So the smaller factors, check them out to find the factors of the larger one. Also use the prime numbers to find the possible factors. Remember, the primes are 2, 3, 5, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So you check the prime numbers to see if they're also factors if you can't find them. And you use divisibility rules for 2, 3, 5, and 9. So remember, divisibility rules, if it's an even number, it'll have a factor of 2. If it's even, remember, even means it ends in a 0, 2, 4, 6, or 8. Divisibility rule for 3 is the digits have a sum of a multiple of 3. So if the digits adds up to be a 6, then it's divisible by 3. It adds up to be 9, is divisible by 3. And divisible by 5, it ends in a 5 or a 0. If it ends in a 0, then it's divisible by 10. And if the sum of the digits, the sum is a multiple of, the sum is a multiple, let's put the is there, is a multiple of 9, then it's divisible by 9. So it's, if the digits adds up to be a 9, an 18, a 27, etc. But you can go one step further. If you add these up, you get a 9. If you add those two up, you get a 9. If you add those two up, you get 9. So if you keep adding up your digits until you get a 9, then it's divisible by 9. So that's a few hints, a few tricks, a few tips to help you factor. And we'll use those tips as we go and learn about factoring your trinomial. Factor trinomial off the form x squared plus bx plus c, where b and c, we're talking about the integers now. No other numbers, only the 0, the 1, the 2, the 3, etc., and negatives. There's the set of integers. To factor means to express as a product. If a trinomial, ax squared plus bx plus c, if it's factorable, then its factors are two binomials. Hence, the trinomial can be written as the product of two binomials. So we did all the work on the 2 previous videos just to get to here. Because once you know this pattern, you won't forget it. And not only that, you're using a lot of extra math skills to work this. So it's not a shortcut, but it reinforces what we're doing. let's follow some steps, and I will practice these steps over and over. Number 1, the first term of the trinomial is x squared. Each binomial will have an x. So when you have a trinomial with an x squared, like right here, then because that's x squared, so you'll put an x in each of those brackets. So that starts it. Then what I do, my second step, the signs are placed in the brackets. So you'll either place 2 pluses, 2 minuses, or a plus and a minus. And we'll use the sign rule. If the last sign of the trinomial is positive, each binomial will have the same sign as the middle term of the trinomial. So, an example, if you have x squared plus 6x plus 5, so if the last sign is positive, then you'll have 2 signs which are the same as that middle one. So you'll have 2 pluses in your binomial. And if you have an x squared minus 7x plus 10, so the last sign is positive, so that means you'll have 2 minuses in your binomial. Because the product is positive 10, the sum is negative 7. The product is positive 5, the sum is 6. So when I'm factoring, I'll say if the sign at the last sign or the product is positive, then I'll have 2 off the middle. That's the rule that I've ingrained in my head ever since starting to learn the algebra and factoring. It stayed with me and is always there. It's just beautiful. It's a good rule. Negatives. If the last sign is negative, then you will have a positive and a negative. So if you have an x squared plus 6x minus 7, because the product is negative 7, then you will have a plus and a minus. And I prefer to put the plus first and the minus second. That'll help us in that pattern for later. But you can put a minus there and a plus there if you want. But if the last term or if the product is negative, you're guaranteed to have a plus and a minus. So notice what we do, we put the x's in and we put the signs in. So, and we're well on the way. Once we put the x's in and put the correct signs in, then we'll find the factors fairly easy. Here we go. So that's step 1 is put x in each bracket. Step 2 is put the signs in. Now let's follow the steps, these steps. Find the product of the last term, which is c. So we'll find the product. Then we'll find the sum, which is the middle term, which is the b. Then we'll list all the possible factors, pairs of factors. Then we'll say which pair is correct to give the sum, and that's the factors that we place in the brackets. So this is the pattern that I use over and over and over, and it works. It works. A tip, if the product is positive, then the factors have to be added up. So if the product is positive, you have 2 pluses or 2 minuses. That means you're going to add them together. So if you got a plus 10 and a plus 2, you'll add to get plus 12. If you got a minus 10 and a minus 2, you'll add to get minus 12. But if the product is negative, that means you have to subtract your factors because they differ. They subtract. Different signs, you subtract. If the 2 signs are, if the product is positive, you're adding up because the signs are the same. If the product is negative, you're subtracting. We'll keep that in mind. Let's do some examples. Here's a trinomial. I'm going to work through these steps now. Step 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Watch how I do it. Trinomial. The brackets. So let's put the brackets down. Done. Now, we put the x in each bracket. Why? Because x times x, first terms, give us the first term of the trinomial. I got an x squared. The signs, because it ends in a plus, the product is positive, so I'll have 2 pluses. So that means I'll put the pluses in. Now, the product is on the end, so the product is 2, positive. The sum is 3. So what factors of 2 2 is 1 and 2. So if you got 1 and 2, that's the only possibilities. So you got to have two pluses, and you got a 1 and 2. So those are the answers. So the correct pair is a positive 1 and a positive 2. There's no other possibility. 2 got a factor of 1 and 2. Got to be two pluses because the product is positive. You got to have 2 in the middle. So there's the answer. Let's try the next one. Brackets. We put the brackets in. We have an x squared, so we put x and x in. Now the signs. It ends in a positive, but I have to have 2 of the middle. So I have to have 2 minuses. So I put the 2 minuses in my bracket. Product is plus 6. The sum is minus 5. The product is on the end. That's your C, and that's your B. That's your sum. Now the factors of 6, let's list them. 1, 6, and we got a 2 and a 3. So because the product is positive, they're adding up. So what pair adds up to be 5? Not 6 and 1. It's 2 and 3. But the 2 and 3 have to be negative. So it's negative 2, negative 3. There's the pair. So that's the pair I have in. Because I put the 2 x's in, I put the signs in, then 2 and 3 fits into those signs. Perfect. Let's continue. I have a trinomial, and I'm going to factor it, so I use a double set of brackets. And I put x in each term because I got x squared. Now, the signs are, what do we have? We have a product is negative, so guaranteed if the product is negative 12, I'm guaranteed to have a plus and a minus. So I got a plus and then a minus. So I got my signs. The product is negative 12. The sum is negative 1. So I have a 1 and a 12. I have a 2 and a 6, and I have a 3 and a 4. Those are the factor pairs, 1, 12, 2, 6, 3, 4. Now, remember, the product is negative, so that means the factors are subtracting to get the 1. So 12 and 1 will give you 11, no good. 6 and 2 will give you a 4, no good. The answer is 3 and 4. So I'll have 3 and 4, but the 4 got to be negative, and the 3 got to be positive, because when I add, if that's a negative here, when they differ, then I have to subtract and get a negative 1. So the answer is positive 3 and negative 4. That's the factorization. And remember, if you did the FOIL on this, first, outside, inside, last, you would come up with this one. D, brackets. Yep. And we have an x and an x. And the signs, it ends in a negative, guaranteed to be a plus and a minus. So we put the plus in and then the minus in. And product is negative 15. Sum is 2. So the factors of 15. It's the product that gives you the numbers we want. So 1 and 15, 3 and 5 are the pairs. Because it's a negative, the factors will differ. Different signs, different factors. Subtract. 15 and 1 gives me a 14. No good. 3 and 5 must be the answer, right? And so we got a 3 and a 5, and it adds up to be positive 2, so the positive number is larger, because positive 5 and a negative 3 will add to give you 2. So positive 5. So I didn't have to go over here. I could have put them all in here right away. But I just put it here. Let's just say that's the correct pair, and that's the pairs fitting in here. E, I have a set of brackets. Done. I got x squared, so that's x and x. It ends in a plus, so if you have a product that's positive, 20, that means I have to have 2 of the middle signs. So that means I got 2 minuses. So I got 2 minuses, that's correct, so I put the 2 minuses in. So this is only here to check to give you the pattern, but really you can work everything from right here. The product is 20, the sum is negative 9. So 20 is 1 times 20, 2 times 10, and 4 times 5. Remember, if you check a 10, a 10 has a 5. That means a 20 got a 5. So 20 divided by 5 is 4. So 4 and 5 are a pair. And because the product is positive, the factors are going to add up, not differ. They're the same sign, so they add up. So what factors add up to give you a 9? Nope. That's a 21. That's a 12. So it's 4 and 5. And automatic, you got two negatives. It has to be a -4 and a -5. If the signs are the same, it's easy. Just add up the factors. And that's x minus 4, x minus 5. If we have double set of brackets, and we got an x squared, so it's x and x. And as the product is -18, so guaranteed it's going to be a plus and a minus. Multiply, -18. Correct. Now, we know it's going to be plus and a minus. The product is -18. The sum is a -7. So we have to get the factors of 18. 1 and 18. Remember, I always start with a 1. And then I go with even, so it's 2 and 9. And a 9 has a 3, so it's a 3 and a 6. 3 and 18 goes 6. And because we have a plus and a minus product, that means the factors are going to differ because the signs are different. So 17, no. Oh, there it is, 7. These differ by 3. So it's a 2 and a 9. So if it's a 2 and a 9, which one? The larger one is going to be negative. So it's a -9 and a +2. Right? -9, +2. You notice how I write down all my pairs. And because the signs are the same, I add them up. If the signs are different, I subtract. Remember that. That's a little trick that you use. Okay, let's continue. Now, what you have is a review of 10 factoring. Pause the video and work all of these out to see if you're going to get them right. So here we go. I'm going to take some little, not shortcuts, but you don't have to write everything down, but you got to make sure. You're factoring the trinomial, so it's a trinomial, so it's going to be brackets. And the brackets will have an x and an x because that's x squared. The first terms give you the first term of trinomial. The signs, it ends in a plus, so it's 2 of the middle terms, so it's 2 pluses. So we got that done. The product is 14 and the sum is 9. Okay, that means the factors of 14 is the factors of the product. So we got 1 and 14 and we have a 2 and a 7. Which pair of factors? Because the signs are the same, you're going to add up the factors. 14 and 1 gives you 15. So the answer is 2 and 7. So when I pick these out here, I automatically got them here. I don't have to write in there. Here we go. We're factoring the trinomial, so it's a double set of brackets. X squared is x and x. You have a negative product. So let's see, the signs are going to be, the product is -11, the sum is 10. Because the product is negative, you're going to have a plus and a minus for your signs. So if I put them in here, it's the same as putting them there. And the factors of 11 are only 1 and 11. That's the only pair. So 1 and 11 has to fit here if it's factorable. And so therefore, if the sum is positive 10, so it has to be positive 11 minus 1. So you're subtracting these two numbers because the signs are plus and minus. Check. Multiply. -11, correct. Add, plus 10, correct. Number 3, double bracket. Brackets, x and x. Ends in a plus. So if it ends in a plus, you have 2 of the middle signs. So you have 2 negatives. Why? The product is positive, the sum is negative, right? Because that's product and sum. The product is 8, the sum is -9. So what factors? 8, product is 8, so I'm going with 1 times 8 and 2 times 4. Which pair? Notice the signs are the same, so you're adding up. 8 and 1 gives you 9, so it's 2 negatives. 8 and 1 are the only answers that can fit. 2 and 4 add up to 6. Not going to work. And number 4, we have a negative, we have a double bracket, right? We have x and x in the brackets. And we have a product is a negative 6. Let's see. Product is negative 6. Sum is negative 1. So that means because the product is negative, we'll have a plus and a minus. And the factors of 6, 6 times 1, and we got 2 times 3. So which pair? And because the factors, because the signs are different, the factors differ. If you subtract those two, you get a 5. If you subtract those two, you get a 1. So that's a 2 and a 1 going in here, but the larger factor got to be negative. So it's a negative 3 plus 2. Check it out. Multiply. Negative 6. Add. Negative 1. Correct. So remember, if the signs are the same, the factors add up. If the signs differ, plus minus, then the factors subtract. Very important, fast way to do it. Here we go, double bracket. X squared is x and x. You have a plus on the end, the product is positive, so therefore you'll have 2 of the middle signs, 2 minuses. Factors, product is 21, sum is negative 22. So 21 is the product, so we got 1 times 21, and we got a 3 times 7. And that's the only pair, 2 pairs. So they have to add up. So 1 and 21 adds up to 22. 3 and 7 only adds up to 10. Even if I subtracted these and made a mistake, I add 3 and 7 to get 10. If I subtract them, I get a 4. So it's definitely not those two. But I know when I put the 2 signs in, what happens? I know that I'm adding them up because they're the same signs. Number 6, I have a bracket and a bracket. I have an x and an x. And I have a product of negative 18. I have a sum of 3. And so I know that what? Product is negative 18. Again, I have a plus and a minus. Why? When you multiply those two, you get a negative 18. And 18 is 1 and 18. 18 is 2 and 9. 18 got a 3 and a 6. 3 factor pairs. Now, do I have them all? I got a 9. 9 got a 3. Yep, 3 times 6. I'm checking the 9. If a 9 has a 3, 18 got a 3. That's a good trick to be careful with. And remember, they're different signs, so they're going to subtract to give you a 3. Subtract, 17, not good. Not right, sorry. 9 and 2, subtract to 7, not right. So it must be 6 and 3. Now, we got to put a 6 and a 3 in here, but the sum is plus, so the larger number is a plus. So I got a 6 and 3, so 6 is positive, 3 is negative. Why? Because when I add those, I get 3. If I had x plus and a minus like that, and let's say I put 3 there and a negative there. I have a plus and a minus, so I put the 2 numbers in the wrong spot. When you multiply those two, you get negative 18. But when you add those two, you get negative 3. So that's not right. So it must be positive 6, negative 3. Remember, when you multiply, you get negative 18. When you add, you get the plus 3. Because that's the sum, that's the product. That's why we did all that practice, just to get to this level right here. We got a trinomial, which is factorable as 2 brackets. X goes in each of the first terms, because x times x is x squared. And we have a product of 27. We have a sum of 12. 27 is 1 and 27, and 3 and 9. So product is positive, so we'll have 2 pluses. So there's the 2 signs. So I put the x's in, signs are gone in, I'm now working on my factors. Because the 2 signs are the same, I'm adding up. So 1 and 27 added up will give you 28, not good. So it's 3 and 9. 3 and 9 are the only numbers that can go in here. And it makes no difference how I can put 9 and 3, because they're 2 plus signs. I can go 3 and 9 or 9 and 3, still works. And we have a double bracket again. We have x in each bracket to give you the x squared. And we have what? Product is negative 30. The sum is negative 13. So if the product is negative, I have a plus and a minus. Remember, I always write the plus first and the minus second. And the factors of 30 are 1 times 30. I have a 2 times 15. I have a 10 times 3. And I have a what? 6. I see a 6 times 5. How do I know it's a 5? I got a 10 as a factor. 5 is a factor of 10, so 5 is a factor of 30. Now I got 4 different pairs. But I know, because there's 2 different signs, that the factors are going to differ by 13. So I'm subtracting them. That's a 29, no good. Oh, there it is. 2 and 15 subtract to get a 13. So is it positive 15, negative 2, or is it positive 2, negative 15? Because that's a negative, then the larger number is negative. Multiply, negative 30. Add, negative 13. Number 9, double bracket. We got an x and an x, gives us x squared. Ends in a plus. Product is positive. So we got 2 of the middle terms. So we got 2 minuses. So the product is 45. The sum is negative 14. So 45 is 1 and 45. 45 got a 5, so it's a 9. 5 times 9. A 9 has a 3, so 3 into 45 goes 15. And there's 15 got a 3 and a 5, we have them. So, and the 2 signs are the same, so that means they're going to add up. Add up to give me a 14. Add up 46, no good. Add up 18, no good. So it must be 5 and a 9. So it's a 5 and a 9 or a 9 and a 5. Your choice. Don't make any difference. Why? Because the 2 signs are the same, I can put the 5 and a 9 or 9 and 5 in any order. And number 10, I have a double bracket, binomial. I put an x in each because it gives me x squared when I multiply. And the product is negative 33. Sum is 8. So if the product is negative, I'm guaranteed to have a plus and a minus when I multiply. So 33 are the factors. Product is negative 33. So let's check the factors. 1 and 33. And I see a 3 because it's double digit. So that's 3 and 11. 11 is prime, so there's no other factors. And because the signs are different, the factors will subtract. So you're subtracting to get an 8. Subtract 32 now. So this is the right one. When you subtract those, you get an 8. So is it positive 11, negative 3, or positive 3, negative 11? Because that's a plus 8 when you add. The larger factor will be positive. So it's a positive 11, negative 3. So we have all these factors. You have a pattern that I use time and time and time again. And it's extremely important to learn this pattern, extremely important to factor, because factoring is such a part of the math going on and part of the calculus that's in the universities or anywhere. So that's my video on factoring by the patterns we've learned. And if you like my video, click on the like button and subscribe to my channel if you wish, and the notification bell to get notification of more videos that I'm going to do. And you had to be subscribed to get that. Write a comment on my video if you're a subscriber, and visit my math website at mathfullyexplained.com. And there you'll have 3 sections. The me talks about my degrees and teaching experience. The video section talks about the strategies you're going to use to help you learn your math. And the content is topics and the number of videos on each of those topics. And the black font is what's online right now, and the red font is what I'll be doing in the near future, topics in the near future. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.